Hello and welcome back to Camp Ash. We will be beginning the Janice route. So, last you recall, we were on the screen where it shows like the little tarot cards with each individual character and their own little tarot thing. And Janice and Chip are both the devil, with a certain albino puma in the background. But yeah, before this though, Chip and Janice were sort of, basically it takes place directly after they accidentally run over Samuel Ayers. And this is them sort of trying to run away from what happened. And of course, none of this is canon, obviously. But yeah, you know? Like, after you do that, you kind of want to get your head out of, like, that space of, like, oh, we accidentally ran over someone. And Chip himself had to bury the person because, you know, you can't just leave the body there. And, but yeah, not a whole lot of good things happening for these people. So they decided to just go and be, I guess, not camp counselors, but, they're the people that are going to be assisting and helping set up the camp beforehand, before anybody arrives. But yeah, so that's what they're doing. And I guess they're going to get paid really well for it. But of course, this being a Echo-adjacent story, things are not going to go the way that, you know, they hope. So yeah. Anywho, so what else? What else am I missing? We will have certain other characters. Of course, there's Dale Cooper, who's one of the other otters that lives in Echo. There's Duke Tibbets, who, if you remember, is the descendant of Clifford Tibbets, but is also one of the, I guess you could call them minor antagonists, or just an antagonist of the Echo story. And he does show up in Arches. Then there is Miriam Moore, who is the aunt of Flynn Moore. Of course, Chip is the father of Sidney Bronson. Janice is the descendant of William Adler. And there's Trisha Hendricks, mom of Carl Hendricks, and also a descendant of, well, basically the whole Hendricks line. Who else am I missing? Oh, Ernesto Alvarez, who is the father of Leo Alvarez. At least I think he's the father, because I know Leo has an older brother, but I seriously doubt that's him. Anyways, so yeah. Shenanigans. So anyways, without further ado, let us begin the Janice route. Yes. The selection screen. Like I said, we're gonna do Janice. The devil. If I remember correctly, it represents earthly pleasures, about being tied down to what you want. Addiction to what makes you feel good. Sounds pretty scary. Sometimes it's not about doing the thing that feels good, but the right thing. Do you feel like you've been doing what you wanted to do lately, Chip? I pick at the fur on my tail on instinct. I think so. And it's been making things complicated, to be honest. Well, as long as you realize how it's making you feel, the devil is about showing you what's wrong too. I need to think more about what I want to do versus what I should do. Hey, lazy asses, everything is ready out here. Dale practically leaps from the kitchen, hustling over with the food. Oh, that was fun. Thanks for playing, Chip. Yeah, that was fun. Trisha puts away the cards, wrapping them in her silk confines, and back into the tin. Outside, Duke has lit a raging bonfire in the stone pit. Its warmth washes across me, the light snipping away at the darkness of the night. Everything is ready to start cooking, and we're ready to get token. Ernesto drops off a bag of reefers on a chair. Feel free to use everything in there. I have a second bag for later, when we gotta be more discreet. Everyone except for Trisha and Miriam take out a blunt. Duke and Ernesto pull out their lighters for everyone. I take a deep drag of mine, holding the smoke in to swirl around in my lungs for a few seconds. I exhale through my nose, watching the white smoke mix and swirl with the ash from the bonfire. Dale sets up a table with hot dog buns and condiments while Ernesto and Duke drag the ice chest out from Wickenburg's cabin. I help bring out some chairs, and before long, we're sitting together in the heat of the fire, buzzed, faded, and full from delicious food. Everything said and done, today really was perfect in the end. A few hours pass and the bonfire starts to die down. Once it gets too cold, we smother it with a nearby hose hookup and retreat back into Wickenburg's cabin. I think I'm gonna pass out. We should all probably head to bed soon. Not fair, we haven't played any games yet. We did that tarot reading earlier. That didn't count. It was only for a few of us. Well, what do you have in mind? I'm not sure. You guys never invited me to stuff like this. Well, what's some stuff you guys would do when you hang out? It was all shitty excuses to drink or get high, but we're all pretty messed up already. There was that one that we used to play. Spin the bottle? That sounds like fun. Yeah, when we were in middle school, I think. It's a bit different now that we're not kids anymore. And Jan and I are dating. Ooh, you whores. Someone cut her off next time. You guys are all kind of whores. Why don't we make it more interesting then? And how would we do that? Well, it's already kinda spicy because Janice and Chip are together. So if they join and get picked, it'll be a bit wilder. So first rule, they have to play to keep things interesting. Janice looks at me and smiles. We don't have to do it if you don't want to, babe. You know, it might be a bit of a hoot that way. Let's hear the other rules. And second, and probably the most important rule, is we kiss whoever the bottle lands on. No redos or the closest person of the opposite sex. What? Are you some kind of pervert? I've been trying to tell you the wolf is a fag. Sounds like fun. Jan? I'm with Trisha. We might get to see two big, strong boys kiss. And what's a little lipstick between friends if it lands on us? What's your angle here, Wolf? Don't you want to see two babes make out? Well, yeah, but I don't want to kiss a dude or see two dudes kissing. And that's what makes it interesting. They're not gonna do it if we don't involve ourselves. That's for sure. So, why not take a gamble? Live on the edge a little. If Chip's in, of course. I'm not sure. Sounds worth the risks to me. What the hell? I do like to gamble. I guess if everyone else wants to. Fuck, if it's just me saying no, I'll do it then. Alright, it's settled. Ernesto downs the beer bottle in his paw, wiping his muzzle in exaggeration after it's empty. Let's get in a circle then. We maneuver onto an open space on the floor, sitting cross-legged in a circle formation. Who's gonna go first? I got this. Ernesto spins the bottle as fast as he can, the container wobbling and howling from its opening. The bottle begins to slow, wobbling less and less as it creaks along the floorboards. Before coming to a dead stop, tip unequivocally pointing at Dale. The otter's face turns red as Ernesto's fur, the wolf's eyebrows practically jumping off his face. Oh my god, I knew that it was gonna be worth it. Wait. A deal's a deal, bub. Ernesto leans over the circle, holding a paw down to steady himself as his muzzle meets Dale's. My whiskers twitch as I see theirs rub against each other as our mouths meet. Oh my god, I knew that I was gonna get stuck with something like this. Janice and Trisha are both watching, fully enraptured. I take a large swig of my beer. Ernesto pulls away, returning to his seat. That wasn't so bad, was it, Nutria? Yeah, not bad. Dale twitches his tail. Hopefully we get some chicks making out to make up for it. Who's next? Duke spins the bottle without waiting for anyone to speak up. I just want to get this over with. The bottle starts to slow down much faster this time. It stabilizes more and more, barely inching its way past me and landing on Janice. You're not gonna beat my ass for kissing your girl, Chip. Janice interrupts him, leaning across me to get to the weasel seated on the other side of me. They kiss deeply, right in front of my face for a few seconds, their muzzles parting for some tongue action. They pull away just as my tail starts to thump. He better not. We both agreed to play. Oh shit, dude. I see why you put up with her crazy ass. Janice flicks him on the nose and the weasel buckles under the light, albeit sharp pain. Me next. Trisha takes the bottle in her paws and spins it against the floorboards. The bottle spins for a few seconds, eventually landing on Miriam. Alright, chicks and a cougar show. You're being specious again, Duke. Well, at least I got to see two big guys make out for a bit. Miriam finishes her beer as Trisha gently leans forward in the circle. The Gilla leans in on both of her paws, bracing herself against Trisha's softer face. The two meet, maws turning sideways and opening to accommodate the size difference. Oh wow, that's pretty hot. Hell yeah. The pair make out for another half minute. It's hard to look away fully. Who's next? Chip. He hasn't got to kiss anyone yet. My paw reaches for the bottle, the cuts and bruises on my webbing in full view. Go ahead, babe. I spin it as fast as I can, not wanting to look like I made it land on anyone in particular. My eyes are glued to the tip as it spins ever slower on the floor. I reach for my beer, but it's long empty. The bottle starts to slow, still fully centered on the circle, not leaning any which way. Until it's on its final breath, its movements coming to an end. Until it lands directly pointed at Janice. Boo, how boring. Well, come here, babe. I lean gently over to Janice, our lips parting, practiced in the habit. She's sweet on my tongue, the booze and weed mixing together with her own taste. And then the lights cut out, sending the room into total darkness. Ah! A few screams ring out in the darkness. What the fuck? We all scramble on the floor, tripping over each other in the dark as we try to get to our feet. Ouch! Shit, someone stepped on my tail. Everyone calm down. I have a lantern on my belt. We stop panicking for a moment as the sound of Ernesto's belt rings in the darkness. Hurry up! Ernesto flicks his lantern on, filling the cabin with just enough light for us to see each other. Did someone hit the lights? We were all sitting down here. There's no way. Someone should check the breakers. What if we're not alone? Is there any other staff? Maybe the lights are on a timer? It's past midnight, isn't it? Before anything else, let's grab more flashlights and lanterns. We'll let them all together on one of the tables. We each take a lantern or flashlight from the pile. I'm going to go check out on the breakers. They should be on the outside of the building. If not, it'll be tied down to either the maintenance shed or the assembly hall. Hey, don't go out there by yourself. What if someone's out there? We should be alone up here. Besides, he'll be fine on his own. No way. Enough shit has happened today. We're not sending someone by themselves. But it's literally my job. But something strange is happening. We don't know that for sure. What are you talking about? There was something wrong with the road, Trisha. You said it yourself. It doesn't make sense how we got so lost with how big this mountain range is. But we don't know that we just didn't get lost. Nothing bad has happened to us. No one is injured or missing. And this could have just been the breakers tripping, which I need to go check still. Why would the breakers trip? We barely have anyone here, and we weren't running extra equipment. Even the other buildings with electricity are all currently off. Well, we won't know unless we check. Duke, go with him. If there's someone out there, they won't think about hurting the strongest two guys we have. Me and Chip are plenty strong. And that's why you're staying here, to protect the ladies. Miriam rolls her eyes. Oh, okay. Janice grabs my arm, holding me tight. I'm scared, Chip. We'll be right back. Let's go, Weasel. Ernesto and Duke head out to the front door, closing it behind them. I'm gonna go find the light switch. The sheep walks around the perimeter of the room with a flashlight for a bit, stumbling around for the switch. Here it is. Trisha pauses for a few seconds. The switch. They're flipped off. She flips the switch back and forth a few times. The lights still go back on. So there's something else wrong, but... Someone flipped the lights. No one else should be here. We're the only staff. Henry and the nurse won't be back till tomorrow. Maybe we bumped it in the dark? But no one got up, and we were way too far from it. Chip. Dale and I are here, babe. We won't let anyone get hurt. I still don't like this. Let's just wait for them to get back. Should we grab some weapons? There's probably a hunting rifle by the looks of it. You can shoot, right, Chip? Definitely, but I don't think that we need to pull out a gun just yet. Chip, you should just get it. Someone was in the room with us. We don't know that for sure, Jan. Let's just wait for Ernesto and Duke to get back. Should we try to find the gun just in case we need it? Let's not go through Henry's things while he's not here. Some time goes by without much talking, the wait for Ernesto and Duke making us too anxious for much less. Dale stands up from his seat on the couch. Maybe we should go look for them? Yeah, I'm starting to get worried. We should stay here like we agreed upon. But I'm still worried about them. That's fine. We just need to stay calm in case. Miriam pauses. Janice cuddles close to me from our seats on the couch. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. No need to apologize, Jan. Things are tense right now. The front door opens with a loud creak. Ah! Ernesto and Duke walk in through the door. What's wrong? You just scared her, is all. I take it no luck on the power? No, sorry. We found the breakers on at the assembly hall and they were tripped, but resetting them didn't seem to bring the power back. There must be a problem with the power lines along the mountain. Shit, do you think that they'll close us down? Do we need power to cook? It might be annoying, but I'll be able to get everything go without it. Nothing perishable either. There's a fridge for medicine that needs to be kept cold in the nurse's station, but it has its own generator. The nurse will bring the medicine itself when she gets here, so it will be fine until then. There's enough fuel to keep the generator going for over a month. It should be taken care of before the kids arrive if it's a downed power line. Let's head to bed. My buzz is long gone. It's gonna take longer to get everything done without electricity too. I want to stay here, together with everyone. I have a feeling that if Henry catches us co-editing up, he's gonna flip. He's already threatened us with no pay once. I don't want to add on to that. Duke's right. Well, what if we stay here and the boys go to their cabin? There's only one door for the staff cabins, and they lock. The doors here don't lock? And there's more than one? Yeah, there's 3. Only the master key locks and unlocks the doors here. If we get separated, it could be really bad. I don't think that it even unlocks all the doors here. I'm pretty sure only Henry has the key to his room too. If you're that scared, we can take some furniture from here and barricade the door in addition to locking it. Okay. Chip, I love you. I love you too, babe. The staff cabins are less than 200 feet away from each other. Just holler or come running, and we'll be there. We gather our luggage and head outside. We agree to meet back at the mess hall when the sun is up and head our separate ways to the staff cabins. Ernesto unlocks the door and we head inside. Inside is dusty but clean. A table with 2 chairs, a couch, and lockers make up a small living room. 2 sets of 2 double beds lined up against opposite walls make up the bedroom in the single-room cabin. Not as much privacy that I was hoping for, especially seeing as we're staff and all. At least it isn't bunk beds. Hopefully the staff showers and restrooms are better. We settle in unpacking our things and choosing a bed. I'm so beat. Been up almost 20 hours at this point, and I drove all day. Duke takes off his shirt, practically belly flopping onto his bed immediately after. Ernesto strips down to his underwear and sits on his bed. We should probably take a shower. But it's gonna smell like otter anyways, so it's not gonna help much. Hey! Don't bother, plus he's probably right anyways. I take off my shirt, too tired to undo my shorts. Dale looks around, a warm blush visible through his fur. He takes off his shirt and pants, but quickly pulls on a red tank top. Aren't you hot? I just, feel more comfortable with it on. Dale manages to get underneath his blanket before rolling onto his stomach. I turn off a lantern from the table, the room falling into darkness, and take off my shorts then. Easier to rearrange myself when no one's looking. I'll just sleep like this. It's just us guys here anyway. I'm gonna knock out now. Hope this hangover isn't too bad. I hear them turn in their beds as their sheets ruffle. It's quiet now, and I feel alone. My sleep is deep and untroubled, practically passing out the moment that my head hits the pillow. I didn't dream of anything. Lights filter in through the windows as the sound of Ernesto rummaging through his bags wakes me up. Wake up, Nutria. We have to get the day going. My paws grabbed my head, thankful that the hangover isn't as bad as it could have been. Dale is awake too, already changed for the day. Can you get Duke up, Chip? I'm afraid that he's gonna snap if he's feeling torn up from last night still. I get up out of my bed and walk over to Duke's bed, the weasel snoring peacefully in his sleep. Hey, bud. It's time to get up. I move a paw to gently tap him on the shoulder. What? Duke's head fur is frazzled and smashed from being slept on, his face contorted in deep exhaustion still. We gotta get going for the day. Still want to get paid, don't you? And Duke grumbles, sitting up on his elbows. He looks around the room a few times, eyeing me and Ernesto. Let's get going then. The weasel stumbles out of the bed and grabs a pile of his clothes from his bag just as Ernesto steps towards the door with his clothes. Hey, I was gonna go shower. Well, so was I. Duke snaps towards Dale. Dale. Dale awkwardly turns towards the weasel. You showered already, yeah? Dale nods. Are there separate stalls or is it just as open as this? There was 4 shower heads around a central drain, so not really any privacy at all. Tss. I don't want to see your wolf, so wait for me to finish. Why? You afraid that you'll like what you see? Why Nope. We're not fighting this early in the morning. Just go separately. Ernesto, just wait here with me and Dale. It's not worth it. I don't think that we should go alone anywhere still. Please, it's the morning. Do you think that anyone is still gonna be fucking with us? It was the middle of the afternoon when that weird shit up in the mountain started. Tss. Let's split up in pairs now and meet at the mess hall for breakfast with everyone else after. Sounds like a plan. You two just go together. I'll stay with Dale and take one afterwards. Just turn around if you don't want to see each other's... I gotta go get breakfast going with Jan if we want to eat though. Then let's all go together. Great. One big sausage fest. Te daré un chorizo gordo. We make it to the showers, luckily with no sign of the ladies around. Walking inside, we're met with a small hallway with cubicles holding clean towels and bars of soap. Dale turns around as the rest of us strip. We leave our clothes in piles on the floor. I'll just wait here. It's too creepy to go outside by myself. How'd you take a shower earlier by yourself then? I wasn't thinking about it too much. Duke exhales through his nose loudly. Oh, Chip. Dale fumbles with his pocket for a second before revealing a small cardboard box of soap. Here's some ottery soap. so you're not stuck in there scrubbing for ages. Thanks, man. Ernesto, Duke, and I head into the shower room. It is a tiled floor with a short wall making up the men's side. The women's side is separated by an extremely tall wall, though it isn't flush with the roof. Guess they don't want any staff hanky-panky in the shower. A single faucet with 4 shower heads sits in the middle of the shower room. Let's get this over with. Duke heads in first and starts a shower head. Ernesto walks in next, taking the shower head directly across from the weasel, leaving me sandwiched between the two. It doesn't take me too long to shower, Dale's extra strength soap cutting through my oily fur with ease. Washing my back is a little awkward with an audience. My short arms have to contort, pushing my midriff forward awkwardly, which doesn't stop my eyes from wandering to Duke's junk for a second. Just checking in on my friend is all. Definitely not something that I haven't seen before in countless after-practice showers. He's not the thickest wall soft, but after a couple of drunken nights pissed together in the desert, I know he's definitely a grower. Really? We all finish around the same time. The other pair are left stranded together to wring the water out of their fur while the wall dryer is down. Guess there's something good about being an otter sometimes. I meet Dale in the hallway after drying off enough. He's awkwardly staring at the entrance. It doesn't take me long to dry off enough to put on my shorts. I gotta drop off my clothes real quick and grab some shirts back at our cabin. No problem. We make the short trip back to the staff cabins. Maybe I should have just went in my underwear. Would have been faster. I'm sure you and Jan wouldn't mind. Yeah, but what is everyone else gonna say? I managed to find my shirts after some fumbling around. I guess that's true. I put the dirty clothes next to my bags. I know you gotta be up earlier than us to cook, but it's kinda odd that you were the one worried about not separating and you went off to shower without us. I have a feeling that you didn't forget, Dale. Well, I'm just embarrassed. I do my best not to bring it up, that I've noticed his underwear definitely has the biggest bulge between all of us, so there is nothing to be embarrassed about. How come, big guy? I walk over to him, putting a paw on his shoulder. He glances to the side. Just my weight is all. I know you don't mind, but Duke is always being mean, and I don't know how Ernesto feels about it. It's why I put on that shirt last night. It seemed like Ernesto liked you enough last night. Oh please, don't bring that up. It was so embarrassing. Well then, I think it's safe to say Ernesto doesn't care, because it was his idea anyways. And who cares what Duke thinks? There were some big guys on the football team in high school with him, and there's definitely some now in Peyton. He's an ass anyways, you shouldn't listen to what he says. I guess that's true. You don't gotta be embarrassed about your extra weight, dude. People always think otters are supposed to be skinny and all thin because we're swimmers, but it just means that you're better at ottering than the rest of us. We gotta stay nice and warm in the water. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, man. Dale pats my back a few times with his large, webbed hand. I really appreciate the kind words. I finish with my clothes and we walk back out into the cool morning air. The sun is barely over the horizon, the grass still wet with dew as we start to make our way towards the dining hall. I'm glad to see things between you and Jen have calmed down a bit. I was kind of worried after that last shift that we had. I told you that it was nothing, bud. It didn't seem like nothing that day. Well, it didn't seem like nothing when you cried yourself to sleep the moment that we got back to my room. I was just tired. I had all those shifts at work in my van. Fuck. Yeah, I know you didn't get your van when you wanted it. It's just, sometimes I feel like I'm being used when you and Janice are fighting. Hey, you're my best friend, Dale. I just come to you for advice with everything. It's not fair to say that kind of stuff when we hang out so much as it is. That's not what... He takes a moment to pause. Never mind. Dale? You know, It's funny. What is? He smiles a wide grin. How clueless you are sometimes, dude. We make it to the mess hall without any more conversation. Janice is there when we arrive. Dale jumps behind the counter to help her prepare. Things are a bit slow going without power, but the two manage so well that I don't feel the need to help out. Trisha and Miriam are at the table closest to the counter kitchen, with Duke and Ernesto next to them. There is more than enough room for everyone at the same table. I take a seat with them and join the larger group. How'd you boys sleep? It wasn't bad. Except for the otter smell. We kinda all passed out. Long day and all. Must have been nice. Janice wanted to be comfortable, so we just had to barricade the doors all. But it took an hour until she was happy with it. It wasn't that hard. She didn't make you carry the heaviest things. Or take it all down in the morning. That sounds dangerous if there was a fire. How early did you all get up? We didn't see or hear any of y'all this morning when we were getting ready. We talked to Dale. The three of us made it to the showers after the same time that he did. I'm surprised you guys let Dale go by himself. He went without telling any of us. Well, it's been light for a couple of hours now, so I'm kinda surprised that it took him this long to start helping Jen out. Shouldn't Henry be back by now then? What do you mean? Well, he said that he wasn't going to drive back up last night. It was too dark. If he was so focused on being here and making sure everything was ready, don't you think that him and the nurse would have been back as soon as possible? It's even more light in the city earlier too. The mountain hides a lot of the sun from hitting us. Earlier sunset and late sunrise. Do you guys think that they're okay? Maybe the road is still weird. If anyone knows a way up and down the mountain, it would be him. There must be something wrong then. Do you mean like his car or the mountain? Breakfast is served. Dale drops a large platter of food in the center of the table. The conversation stops, everyone too tired and slightly hungover to resist the hearty breakfast. Enjoy, everyone. Janice brings plates and utensils, and we all grab bits of food. They even remember to cook extra portions of veggies for Trisha. Muchas gracias. Ernesto grabs a large helping of sausage. How do you guys get meat with the fridges down? Dale interrupts himself with a large bite. He continues talking with his mouth full. Freezer that. More munching sounds. And? The rest of his words are intelligible. There's a small gas-powered freezer. It keeps everything cool without needing electricity, and I'm pretty sure that it's a backup. Henry must have turned it on a few days ago when he arrived and placed a fair bit of perishables in it. Should we save it for the campers? There's not enough room to feed all of them with no electricity from it. If it doesn't get fixed, that will be the least of our worries. Dale swallows with a loud gulp. There's enough non-perishables to last all of it till the end. Although it sure will get bland if that's what everyone has to eat the whole time. Maybe we can throw a giant barbecue if the rest of the meat starts to go bad. Have another party like last night? Trisha grabs her head, moaning in a clearly exaggerated manner. Oh, I don't want to think about last night. My head is still pounding. Everyone laughs. We're just trying to get you ready for university life. Private school kids like to party hard. You didn't drink that much, Trisha. But I haven't drank before. She slaps down her forehead to the table, narrowly missing her plate. Trisha lets out a pathetic whine. Miriam pats her back a few times while Janice shakes her head in a negative a few times. This food is so fucking good, Janice. Duke says it as he takes a large bite of bacon. Oh, okay. Wow. She takes a second to process the compliment. Thank you. You two are really good cooks. Super used to each other in the kitchen too. You guys cook a lot together usually? All the time. Dale stuffs his face with another bite of food. You two live together? Oh gosh, no. We work at the town's local diner. My father owns it, and he's how we got in contact to work here. How long have you two worked there? Practically my whole life, as soon as I was old enough to not burn myself on the stove, but I started cooking my second year of high school. I started my second year of high school too, a few years after Dale. Needed some extra money to help pay for my cheerleading outfit, and the extra cash has been nice. You guys going to school over in Echo? Is there a community college there? Nah, we're taking some time to work. Or hopefully find something better. Aw, I thought you liked working with me, Jan. Dale puts on a faux pouty face. I do like working with you, big guy. But if I have to stare at your greasy muzzle my whole life in that hot kitchen, I'll lose my marbles. I'm going to school over in Peyton. It's a small city nearby, but it has more amenities than Old Echo. I'll be starting at a private school the next state over, in the City of Angels. It's nice to see the younger folk planning out their lives. You're like 3 years older than us, dude. But I am older, so that's what counts. He sticks his tongue out through his muzzle. Ha ha ha. We eat the rest of our food in relative peace. We all decide to help out with the dishes, and the massive bodies help the task go by quickly. So what's the plan for today? We're still on track to get everything done in time, and we can stick together like last night. Me and Dale will stay here. We have a few things to check on at Wickenburg's cabin first, though. Duke is going to help me out today. I'm back with Ernesto at our 2 sheds. I'll have enough time to finish near the boathouse. I didn't get a chance to check out the boathouse last night, but there isn't a lot on my list. Most of my duties are paws on with the kids. It should be easy with the 2 that I'm going with for help. Sounds like a plan. We'll meet back here around 1 p.m. for lunch. Sounds good. We start to head out of the building. Janice walks up to me and hugs me on the side. We walk the rest of the way together. Our full group splits from each other, each heading to our respective sites to start work. Janice, Dale, and I make our way up the hill towards Wickenburg's cabin, saying goodbye to the other 2 groups as we pass them. What do you guys need from here? Well, looking to see if there's any other backup plans for no power. We'll be fine on that meat and other perishables for the next few days, at least until the campers arrive. There should be even enough for the group of the counselors coming. But some of the other food will go bad. There is a heavy-duty fridge that'll keep at least until the end of the day, but we'll have to throw a lot away unless we find a workaround. So you're trying to find another gas freezer? Or a generator? Maybe we should check in with Miriam and Ernesto for that. The 2 look at each other for a quick second. We'll look into that after we take a look around the cabin. We make our way back into Wickenburg's cabin, unlocking the door with a set of keys Ernesto let Janice borrow. I'll look down here. You and Jan check upstairs. Janice and I head to the 2nd floor, while Dale stays below. We walk through a door closest to the stairwell. Piles of storage bins sit scattered around the floor, scraps of camping equipment strewn across the floor accompanying the mess. Janice goes to the nearby bin and starts rifling through the pages of old documents. Jan? She doesn't respond, only focusing more on her task. Janice, I don't think that there's going to be refrigeration equipment in there. I tap my foot impatiently. Are you going to tell me what's really going on? It's pretty clear that you and Dale aren't looking for any cooking equipment right now. Janice puts down the stack of papers in her paw and turns to me. Don't you think that something is wrong? Besides you 2 sneaking around? Yes, besides that. I guess not everything's adding up. I know Dale's dad said it for him and me, but don't you think that it's odd? Only people from Echo are here. Except for the wolf. Well, if they know Mr. Cooper, maybe they're from Echo, right? Miriam and Trish's families are both pretty well known. But all that weird stuff happened on the way here. Do you think Henry has anything to do with that? He didn't seem very concerned about all of it, about us telling him what happened, and he was quick to leave. He had to get to the nurse. At that point, why not wait until the morning, though? I guess he needed her up here earlier than that. Then they'd be back by now. If something fishy is going on, do you think that it would be up here? Just in some stacks of papers? If he wanted to hurt us, wouldn't he have done it by now? That's not what I said, Bronson. Then what are you saying, Jan? I kneeled down onto the floor with her, sitting cross-legged next to the coyote. I don't understand, babe. I don't know why you're acting like this. I know things are confusing and scary, but this isn't adding up. Janice leans onto my shoulder, doing her best to stay quiet while she starts to cry. Because... She takes a deep breath. Because we did this. What did we... I cut myself off. I know what I've done. You and me didn't make the mountain bend into itself. We didn't cut the power and we didn't make Henry not show up. No, but we invited it. We tried to run and it's catching up to us. What's catching up to us? Our sins. Janice. We didn't mean it. He was... Then we should have told someone. I stopped trying to convince her, because I know that she's right. So, what should we do now? Do we look through all the director's things for something that talks about God smiting us down? That's not what I meant. Then what do you mean? I just want something to make sense. Nothing has made sense since that night. Since I kissed you and held you and we made love in the back of that godforsaken van. You made me feel like me. But nothing is making me feel the same way anymore. It's like I'm drowning. She pauses. How did you... Because it's all that I feel too. She surprises me with a kiss straight to my lips. Her tongue batters against my lips, and I let her in without a second thought. It feels like an eternity since I've tasted her. I've been so used to her whenever I wanted it. But it's been so hard. It's so... hard. What? I snap back to the situation. Her paw is cupping my groin, straining against my shorts. Your is so hard. She says that again, breath heavy and low. Let me take care of it for you. Is this the best time? I twitch in her paw. She smiles wide. Seems like it. Janice pulls off her shirt. Unhook my bra. I don't want to smudge my makeup. I fumble with the hooks for a few seconds, the heat rushing to my face making me feel clumsy despite my practice with this. Janice undoes my belt, reaching her paws into my shorts. I finally unhook her bra, freeing her for me. Damn, Janice. You're... Out of the corner of my eye, I see the edges of a smile. Stop drooling, babe. She leans over me, kissing me deeply as she pulls out of my shorts fully. You look like an idiot. She's quick and efficient, full and heavy pumps. She knows me too well. I finish quickly, moaning deeply into a kiss that she gives me to keep me quiet. Luckily, she aims me just in time, thick ropes shooting onto the floor over and over again. My God. I was pent up from earlier. Hadn't had any time to take care of myself either. She brings one of her thumbs up to my muzzle. It's covered in my essence. My face burns as I open my maw on instinct and let her put the mess into my mouth. My God. My head tilts back in bliss. Okay. Like it's the only drop of water that I had in a day. Whoa. Janice gets stressed and stands up as I lie stunned on the floor. I'll be right back. Gonna grab something to clean up this mess. The coyote runs off. My mind quiets and stills for the first time since that night. She returns with a few paper towels, her face red. What's wrong? I'm pretty sure Dale noticed the paper towels. We share a laugh as we tidy up. The three of us make it back to the dining hall after that, then it's back to the kitchen. I start work on preparing lunch for the staff while Janice and Dale get started on preparing the kitchen to accommodate a mass amount of people. We've worked a busy shift at the diner before, but it's completely different here. There won't be more than 200 people on site, but it's certainly more than the diner's max occupancy. We'll just have to make do for now. We busy ourselves with work until lunchtime. Everyone makes it back to the mess hall around the same time. Janice and Dale are in the back, reassuring everyone that they have it mostly prepared already as we settle down at the same table from earlier. It's so hot out today. Not as hot as Echo. Or even Pueblo, to be honest. Then why do I feel like I'm melting? Probably because you're actually working, let alone outside for once. Hey! Why don't we head down to the lake? If everyone else is done with their work, I still need to head down to the boathouse to make sure everything is accounted for. Once that's done, we can go to the dock and relax till later. That sounds like fun. There isn't much else that we can do without power, and I'm pretty sure everyone finished what they needed to. Me and Trisha just finished up. Yeah. Miriam nods. Jan had said that her and Dale were pretty much done with everything too. Sounds like a plan then. We can take a few coolers and maybe some more barbecue, if the power is still out. Do you think Henry will get mad if he catches us? He just wanted the work done. Maybe we can keep the weed and booze in our cabins though. Well, maybe just a can or two each. Already an alcoholic, Hendrix. It just helps me relax. Dale and Janice arrive with a platter of food before we can all start laughing too hard. What's this all about going somewhere? We're gonna go to the lake after lunch if you and Dale are all done. Everyone else is finished, so we decided that we should cool off. We're all done, yeah. Sounds like fun. No booze or weed though, in case Grumpy comes back. We'll just have to drink a couple of cans in our cabins before we go then. I never even thought about that before. We'll make a lush out of you yet. We finish with lunch and help Dale and Janice clean up before heading back to our cabins to change. Dale shuffles over to a corner to undress while Ernesto comes to talk with me as the four of us get ready. I'm still worried about the power. I tried making a phone call to report it to get it fixed, but the phone line is down too. Someone must have noticed by now, right? Maybe that's where Henry is too, just making sure that it's all taken care of too. I hope so. Maybe he's stuck in a road near a downed power line or something. Maybe that's how we all got turned around. I don't think... Here's your beers, fags. The Duke passes us each a can, his dick swinging with his insult. Hey, lardass. The weasel stops behind Dale. Lift your beer on your bed for when you're done hiding your boner. I'm not... Before Dale can respond, the weasel rears his paw back and smacks Dale's admittedly fat ass. Hey! The weasel snickers as he makes his way back to his belongings. Me and Ernesto don't interject, the two of us choosing to just finish getting dressed instead. Dale shuffles back over to us once he's finished changing. Was that so difficult, Nutria? The wolf turns to Dale. It feels like more weight than being naked. Looks good on you. Ernesto makes a show of grabbing the bottom of Dale's stomach and giving it a firm shake in his paw. You're a well-fed businessman. Your survivability and genes are good for lasting the long winter. There's no long or cold winters in Echo. Then he's sure to survive and bring many offspring. He's not Mormon like Bronson is. Oh, you're Mormon? That certainly explains a lot. I'm not practicing, we know. If I was, they might send me to that one compound up north. Having a compound sounds like a cult. I know. I can't exactly just move out of my house just yet though. Maybe you'll get enough from this job? Yeah, maybe. The door shakes as a long banging from it echoes throughout the small cabin. What the hell? Stop looking at each other's and let's go. We're waiting on y'all. How do we get dressed slower than a bunch of girls? Probably because we were looking at each other's, like she said. Stop being an ass and down your beer, everyone. I grab my beer can with a claw. Dale and Ernesto follow while Duke grabs his and makes it back to us, stabbing his in the process. To a summer that we won't forget. To summer. To the money from this job. To all my new friends. We crack open the tap and chug the beer from the sliced open holes. Sometimes being from a hick town had its simple pleasures. We head all the way down to the hill and towards the creek. We pass the pier on the way to the boathouse. The others wait for me as I finish my short task of ensuring everything was there. Satisfied, we head out back towards the pier, ready to enjoy the summer sun, the cool water, and a light buzz. The girls lay out a few towels, Miriam opting to sunbathe for a bit on the wooden dock to warm up first. Trisha and Janice sit at the end of the pier, dipping their feet in as they chat amongst themselves with occasional interjection by Miriam. Duke jumps over the pair, splashing them with cold lake water as it hits the lake surface right in front of them. I ignore the few expletives, deciding to see what Ernesto and Dale are talking about in hushed tones. Is it true that they say about otters in water? Oh yeah, totally. Now I really gotta see it. Dale, you can't be telling non-aquatics about our secrets. Yes, of course we like to bang under the water. Oh, it wasn't a big one. Just that you and I can float without any effort. Oh. Everyone can float without effort. But we can really float, let alone swim without effort, and how it's much easier for us to dive in and swim in general. I heard that it was like watching a feral snake slither on land. Huh, it kind of is. We do a kind of wiggly thing. You guys should show me. I mean, it's how we swim. There isn't anything to show. It does look a little funny when I do it too. Dale grabs his stomach the same way Ernesto did earlier. With my good genes and all. Well, I haven't seen it before and it sounds cute. Cute? Let's just show him, Dale. Before you pop a boner. How deep should we go? We haven't been here before, but we should be able to go pretty deep. There's 2 otters here, so there's no way one of us could drown. I grab Dale's paw, leading him to the end of the pier, opposite of Trisha and Janice. Let's jump in together. Otters don't separate after all. He nods and takes a few steps back. We get a good running start and jump in together, slipping beneath the waves with barely a splash. We're swimming down into the cold water together in less than a second, our fur and rudders helping us glide down with ease. The water is clear and clean, much better than Lake Emma. I don't feel like I'm going to get tetanus if I touch the bottom of the lake. We're far from the shore in just a few seconds, swimming paw in paw. We're already 10 feet down, a sharp drop off from the edge of the lake. Down a bit further, the rest of the body of the water opens up to us, light barely filtering down as we hit 20 feet down from the surface and much further from the shore. Rainbow and brown trout swim past us. I have to suppress the natural urge to grab a bite out of them. Just a few seconds more and we're 30 feet down, the open part of the lake in front of us. It's not too insanely deep, probably no more than 50 feet deep. The water pressure wouldn't change unless we're at the absolute deepest part, and from there we can push off the bottom and find the surface easy. Not that we'll need to for a while. I look back, pulling Dale back up with his paw to remind him that we should get our bearings before going any deeper. The shape of the dock is distant, and there's almost no way that the others could see us, even with their heads under the water, our eyes a bit different than theirs. Dale motions out opposite of the pier and I turn to look. The pure blue and giant expanse of the lake hangs above and below us. The bottom is almost spotless with only a few fishing lines splattered about, a far cry from the litter and filth and slime of Lake Emma. I've never seen a body of water so well maintained, except maybe the creek near the compound, but nothing as big as this lake. I feel like I was supposed to be here, to be in this beauty and force of nature. There was enough fish for me and Dale to catch, and with the depth, it wouldn't be that hard for us to separate and catch enough. I bet that we could even live here at this camp, hunting and gathering like our forefathers, given to the otter of it all. I turn towards my best friend, towards Dale, and smile. He smiles back, awestruck just as much as me. We stay down for a few more minutes, paw in paw. The both of us head to the surface, not bothering to swim back to the pier just yet. We breach the water together, taking a deep breath. The both of us could have held it much, much longer, but I don't want to scare Janice too much. You assholes, I hate it when you do that and disappear for so long. She shouts, clear as day from the pier. We weren't even gone for that long. But you don't know the water like at Lake Emma. We know that it's better than Lake Emma. Yeah, it's crystal clear. We can see almost the whole thing. There's tons of trout too. We might not have to eat canned stuff the whole time. I can't see Janice roll her eyes from this distance, but I can feel it. The group talks amongst themselves, quieter than we could hear. Race you back? You know it. Hey, Ernesto, we're gonna swim back now, if you want to see. I make sure to shout it. I can't hear his reply, but his tail goes straight up as he heads to the edge of the pier and focuses all of his attention on us. On 3. 1, 2, 3. We take off together, racing back towards the pier. The group cheers us on, jeers and shouts of encouragement rushing past as we race to the pier. Gliding over the water is easier than running, but Dale has more practice than me in the water despite his size. I didn't always have time to swim as much as I should have after work, but Dale almost always made time to get a few laps in after a shift at the diner. Those early morning swims made him smoother in the cold lake water too. I'm almost out of breath in the short time that it takes to get to the pier. Going my full speed takes a lot more out of me than casual swimming. I reach a paw out, ready to grab onto the ledge and claim victory, but by the time that I hit the edge, Dale is already pulling himself out of the water, having made it a few seconds before me. Good job, Dale. Yeah, nice one, fat ass. Dale pants as he tries to gather his breath. Ernesto helps me up, his tail wagging almost violently. You guys were so fast. That was so fun. Janice pats my back a few times as I also struggle to catch my breath. You're not built for sprints, babe. You gotta pace yourself better. It was a race. I managed to eke out between each breath. Should have made it a longer race. Should you guys be doing that on a bus? Miriam chimes in from her sunbathing position. Probably not. Dale says as he walks off, starting to spin from the exhaustion and alcohol. A small wave of nausea hits me as I realize that he's definitely correct. Dale breaks away from the small crowd of spectators and stumbles a bit before making it to the edge of the pier. Ernesto goes to grab him, trying to stop him from falling in, but Dale jumps backwards at the last second, falling into the water. Oh my god! Ernesto goes to jump into the water after Dale. He's fine. What? How do you know? He didn't make a splash when he dived in. It was on purpose. That? I can't hear the rest as I dive off into the pier, back into the water. I spin as soon as I enter and let myself float up. Dale passes me as he swims back up, arms gliding through the water like there was nothing there. We surface at the same time, the two of us laid on our backs, tail to head, on the surface. Relaxing otter time. Relaxing otter time. What the fuck is relaxing otter time? They're tired because they're both out of shape. They'll be floating and relaxing on the waves. Is that safe? As safe as me on this dock. Ernesto gives up, opting to dive into the water, Duke joining him a few seconds later. The wolf surfaces as me and Dale float together. Oh damn, you can't touch the bottom here already. Yeah, we're near the boat pier. It might be a bit better near a shoreline. I don't mind, I'm a good swimmer, but it's just a little scary. Don't worry, the lifeguard is on duty. I point a thumb towards my chest. I'll keep you safe, wolf. His tail wags underneath the water. You ladies should come in the water, it's great. I'll be there in a bit. I don't want to mess up my wool with the dirty water. I don't want to have to redo my makeup later. It's cleaner than Echo, much better for the fur. Why are you wearing makeup anyways, Jan? Because I'd rather die than go out in public without it. But fine. Janice pushes Trisha into the water from off the side of the pier, the sheep going under with a loud splash. Janice joins her a second later, jumping in as soon as Trisha surfaces. My wool! Ruined, like my makeup. The two splash each other as Duke and Ernesto watch, laughing at the pair. I close my eyes, the warmth and light from the sun tanning my vision, a soft orange through my eyelids. To summer. I say it under my breath. I enjoy the rest of the summer day to its fullest with my friends. We enjoy the water together for a few hours. Miriam joins us in the water eventually but has to sunbathe to warm back up after a bit. The booze starts to wear off and I wish for nothing more than maybe a couple more to really unwind, but it's a fair enough trade-off not having to worry about life for just a few hours. Janice and Trisha use Dale as a floaty, Ernesto opting to use me once, or twice too. The sun eventually starts to crest behind the mountaintop and the temperature starts to drop. The others exit the water, shaking down their fur as I swim up to the edge of the dock. I'm gonna do one more dive. Anyone want to come with me? Go with you? Yeah, if you want to see part of the bottom of the lake. Maybe not the whole thing, but right here beneath the dock won't be too bad. I motion down towards the pier with my hand. I'm done for the day. Too lazy to get back up. Dale flops down comically on the wooden planks. Anyone else want to go? I'll go, Chip. Janice jumps into the water right in front of me. I hold her up, kicking up with my clawed foot, keeping us both up effortlessly. Ready, babe? She kisses me on the cheek, nodding as she holds her breath. I dive down as she clings to my back, the two of us doing this countless times before. The water is clear as the last daylight starts to filter out of the surface. We make it to the bottom in a few seconds. Janice extends both of her paws, holding on with just her thighs against my side, and skims the soft sand under the pier. I wiggle out between her hold just as the sun dips beneath the mountain, practically plunging us into the darkness. I use both paws to hold her head steady as I kiss her on the lips under the water. She doesn't panic as I grab her a second later, swimming underneath her as we meet snout to snout. I push off the bottom a second later, taking her to the surface cradled in my arms. We breach the surface together, Janice taking a deep breath as I hold her in my arms. She kisses me this time on the cheek and I snuggle into her snout. Thank you, babe. That feels nice. I know, rudder butt. She reaches a paw down to pinch my ass as I lift her out of the water, Dale reaching down to help her up the rest of the way onto the dock. I pull myself up to the ledge too, the water falling effortlessly off my fur. Dale and I are mostly dry by the time that we walk to the end of the dock, the others shaking out incessantly. Ernesto warns the rest of us to stay away as he shakes off giant globs of water near the end of the pier. He jogs back to catch up to the rest of us as we head towards the showers to rinse off the lake water. Do you think Henry is back? He probably would have come looking for us if he was. He could also be helping the nurse up if he was back. He would have to come looking for me then. What should we do if we're here alone again? We could finish off the booze and weed. Probably shouldn't tempt ourselves with the counselors or campers around, especially if one of the little shits finds our stash. If he isn't back tomorrow, we need to send someone down to the mountain at the very least. See what's wrong or get help for us. I'm not sure if I have enough gas. There's some jerry cans up here, but they might be bad. I'll go on my motorcycle then. Better mileage, and I'll hold better with some semi-expired gas. Don't go alone, Ernesto. It's not safe. I don't think we have a choice after tonight. The counselors are coming tomorrow, and we don't know what we're doing. We should still get our money, but we need to make sure that no one else is going to get hurt. No one is hurt yet. And I'm going to keep it that way. Duke? I need to just get this shit out of my fur. The weasel shakes his arm as the water falls out of it. Let's get the bonfire going, and let's get high and drink with some barbecue. We can figure out the rest tomorrow if he's still not back by after breakfast. Sounds like a good plan to me. I'm not so sure that we should again. Let's at least go check the parking lot. That's probably a good first step. We check the parking lot instead of heading directly to the staff showers. He's not back yet. At least our cars are here. We make it back to the showers, Ernesto and Duke not fighting about it this time. Duke's the first one to undress, holding his trunks up to the steam to help them rinse them out. I think you really only need to do that with seawater. And that's why I don't smell all the time. Ernesto removes his trunks, doing the same. You smell worse than those two, Weasel. You're just addicted to the otter ass. Duke's tone is lighter than his usual arguments. You're just mad that I can get some ass here if I wanted. Faggot ass isn't the same as pussy. Ass is ass. You're just jealous that you're not getting any. With who? The town's mom or the town's nerd? Their genes are also strong, good for home building and endurance. No thanks. I'm not a fan of fat girls. Duke looks towards Dale. Do you find fat chicks hotter because you're fat, Dale? What? Yeah, I like skinny hot chicks because I'm a weasel. Duke pats his flat stomach a few times. And Ernesto likes faggots because he's a faggot. Just because you don't like girls with some meat on them. And Chip likes uppity girls with a complex because he's got something up his ass all the time. Aren't you dating Rachel? Duke ignores me completely. So, do you like fat chicks, Dale? This doesn't seem like the smartest conversation right now, Duke. And why not? Dale points towards the gap in the dividing wall. Well, I'm fucked. Duke turns off the shower head and wrings out his fur, walking towards the lockers. The rest of us finish washing in silence. We wind up back at the bonfire, Ernesto and Miriam getting the fire going as Duke sits icing his face. I didn't know a sheep could slap that hard. You knew Janice could. I did know Janice could. Janice walks back from the cooler, ignoring Duke and sitting next to me. She passes a beer to Trisha, hers already open. Uppity, huh? Janice glares daggers at me. I didn't say it, babe. Duke did. She ignores me, turning her attention towards Trisha. Did the conditioner help with your wool, Trisha? Yeah, the water is definitely a lot better than like Emma too. Thank you, Janice. The girls smile at each other, talking about their head fur to the point that I zone out of the conversation almost instantly. Miriam and Ernesto light the fire a second after I turn my head from the pair of girls. Let's get these weenies roasting. Did you get... Yes, we got the veggie weenies. Thank you. Miriam and Ernesto head off to grab the protein as Dale lumbers back up from the cabin, joint in paw. Perfect timing. He takes a long toke, holding it in for a few seconds before exhaling. You guys want some? Everyone except Trisha passes it around, taking a long drag, and makes it around the semicircle a few times before Miriam and Ernesto make it back. They take a few drags themselves as the food is set up. Janice pulls on my arm and motions with her head. I pick up my can of beer and follow after her, heading towards her cabin. You better not fuck him on my bed, girl. A few whistles and cheers sound from the fire pit. We're not doing that. I have no idea why Janice is pulling me to the side like this. She ignores them, taking me behind the cabin so that we're out of the earshot and out of sight of the rest of the group. I place a paw on the side of her face, her eyes glassy. She sighs, looking away without saying anything. I love you, Bronson. Huh? I love you too, Adler. She snickers as I nuzzle her cheek. What's wrong? I'm just tired, aching, cold, a little sick. Me too. It's harder than I thought that I was gonna be, really. It's for the best. I know. She hugs me then, wrapping her arms around my torso and resting her face on my chest. I lay my head on top of hers and stroke the back of her head with one paw and her back with the other. I got you, baby. I got you. She squeezes me tight. I love you so much, Chip. I squeeze back. I love you too, Jan. She lets out a few sobs into my shoulder. I just want to be better. We'll get there. It's hard. It helps, you know? What does? Having you here with me. Same. I pat her head for a couple of times. Try some more of the weed. It takes the shakes off. Yeah, I will. She sniffles a few times. I offer her the sleeve of my shirt to clean up on. Thank you for putting up with everything. Oh, Janice, I'm not putting up with anything. I lean down to kiss her on the snout. You're my girl. I'm going through the same shit too. We're just being stronger together is all. This doesn't feel strong. I kiss her again, deeper this time. She lets my tongue into her mouth. Wanting to get better is strong. Talking to me is strong. Another kiss on her snout. We'll get through this together. Together. She kisses me this time, opening up her mouth for me to reach inside. She's as sweet as the first time. Let's head back with the others, yeah? Yeah, let's head back. I pick her up in my arms, carrying her bridal style as I make my way back to the group. Duke and Ernesto cheer me on as I sit in the chair, Miriam laughing along. Another round of the doobie, yeah? The group cheers in unison. We drink and party late into the night, finishing off the rest of everyone's alcohol and almost all of the weed. I stumble back to the cabin, Dale practically carrying me on his shoulder as we shamble into our cots. I'm not sure if Ernesto or Duke are there as my best friend tucks me into bed, his speech too slurred for me to understand. I close my eyes. The warmth in my chest makes me feel safe and secure. And that's where I'm gonna leave it for today. So, we got through to the second day, and technically, the next part is where the route will start to deviate. So, yeah. So it's kind of like a echo situation where most of the days are similar in one way or another until they start going wildly different ways. And in the next part is where that starts to happen. But yeah. Anyways, so not much else has happened right now except for the power going out. And there is no real sign of somebody else being there. But it does certainly suggest that something is going on. Because the breaker tripped, but they can't untrip it, which means that, like they said, that the power lines are either down or something fishy is going on, because you could also break the breaker and then, you know, it just doesn't work anymore. Although that would be a little bit dangerous because then you're dealing with like the full voltage of electricity. I mean, but you would think that they would notice. So either oversight or maybe it is just a down power line. I am inclined to believe that they are not alone. And I do see why they are just staying there and going like, well, it's our jobs. Let's just finish out, you know, what we're supposed to do. And technically speaking, they already finished out their 2 days where they were supposed to get everything ready. So really the only thing that they have to do is just hope that the main, the camp leader and the nurse arrive and everything is fine. And the whole 2 weeks after that is everything is fine. But I have a feeling that that's not what's going to happen. I have a feeling that things are going to hit the fan real soon. But yeah. And you know how they say that, like in slasher films, where the #1 rule is to never, ever, ever have premarital fun? Because then that's when something happens. So I kind of feel like they broke that #1 rule and stuff is going to happen. So yeah. I do wonder how each individual route differs, because like I said, the story begins with in the aftermath of Chip and Janice's accident, and, you know, with the van and Samuel Ayers. So, like, how would it differ if you decide to go with, like, what's her name? Miss Hendricks or Ernesto or somebody else who does not have any connection to that? Would Janice be, like, way more of a wreck? Would Chip just, like, completely forget it, or what? What would be happening? Because it kind of seems like in this one, both of them are sort of, like, trying to keep themselves together. Because they're both, you know, going through it. But, like, what happens when you're not with that one person who you share that one incident with? Anyways, yeah, so what do you think? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Camp Ash yourself and, you know, go through all the other routes or stay up to date with what's going on with it, you can do so by going down to the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the itch.io page. And as I thought, they do not have a Patreon or any form of support for Camp Ash, because it is technically, like, making money off of of Echo, which is like a no-no. So, I mean, technically speaking, I suppose the writer could have his or her own Ko-fi to support themselves, and they could use that money, you know, to help with Camp Ash. But, like, I'm just, like, it's supporting them, but not Camp Ash. But they could use that money to, you know, put it into Camp Ash. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, so, yeah. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you could become a channel member, and that gives you earlier access to these videos as they're being scheduled. And, like, yeah, you know, it's nice to see all the people supporting the channel. And yeah, you know, they're usually the only ones that are commenting on the videos too, so, like, yeah. But yeah. And if you can't do that, you could support through Ko-fi too, in case, you know, you could do that. Also have a throne in case you're feeling overly generous. Anyways, I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next part. Bye-bye.